Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So you want the presentation started once you give us a sign, right? Just raise your hand. Okay. You don't mind. The moderator. I'm confused. Okay. Half an hour sharp, right? If in the middle is better, right? Because then you can work with this. Yes. And would you like also on the monitors or yeah? You can cheer up a little bit.
I don't know. I've never managed to work it out. Yeah. Speak directly into the top of the microphone.
Like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Hello. Thank you.
Hello, hello. Yeah.
Greetings of peace to everyone who is here. And just before we start officially this press conference, I would request everybody in the room to stand up for a minute so that we pay our homage and respect to everybody who has lost their lives in the recent wars or defending the nature. We need your support in this. Thank you so much for your solidarity. Welcome everyone to this press conference, Voices of Young Climate Heroes or Leaders, and we are the present and the future. With me, I am myself, I am Shantanu Mandal. I am a representative from the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University. I'm also the co-chair for RESPEC in the commission of IUCN CISP. With me, we have Leo Certo, who is an indigenous youth leader. He will introduce himself. We also have Ms. Vinnie Goyal, who is from the United Nations Environment Program, Faith for Earth Youth Coalition. And we have another Brahma Kumaris youth representative to the UNFCCC process, Mr. Birajit Bhaskaran. So welcome to the three speakers. And as requested, we will first let the ladies speak. So, Ms. Vinnie, the floor is yours. Let us know what is Faith for Earth Youth Coalition and how are you engaged in it?
Thank you so much. It's a privilege to be on this panel and amongst all of you today. The UNEP Faith for Earth Council was set up, the UNEP Faith for Earth Council set up the Youth Council in 2022, and currently we have 40 members and advisors across 10 countries. We represent young people from different religious backgrounds, working together to solve ecological challenges, including climate advocacy, water and ocean-related projects, restoration projects, and the inclusion of youth voices at the global level. In order to do this, since our term has began, we've hosted several webinars, such as Faith in Action webinar, which was for the World Youth Skills Day, and this was in collaboration with the UNEP CMYG. We've also had leadership forums which have covered topics such as well-being and resilience and COP training skills. The youth also aims to amplify the work that young people are already doing. This is through member spotlight interviews, which are then released on social media. But what makes this council really special and makes me so proud to be a part of it is the community that we've built. And the foundation of this is the mutual respect that underlies and allows us to accept each other's beliefs and ideas. In the council, we don't work as colleagues, I wouldn't even say friends, but we formed a family and we work like siblings. And for that, we don't need faith, we just need to embody the virtues of peace and love that we already are. But faith does remind us that we are trustees of this planet and allows us to work from that capacity. Coming into my first COP, maybe that's something that I took for granted. But I've realized that we've become quite robotic in our interactions, focusing more on our titles and positions that we're playing, and more transactional, handing out business cards. And we've lost that human touch, which I think we need to bring back. And it's something that we can learn from the work that we're doing at the council. With that, I'd like to hand over to my esteemed colleague.
Thank you, Ms. Winnie, for this little and short introduction of the Faith for Earth Youth Coalition. And I'm sure our floor and many of us would have many questions which you'll answer. With us is Leo Cerda. He's from the Quechua community of Serena. He's an Ecuadorian Amazonian climate activist leader. So welcome, Leo.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leo Cerda. I am the founder of the Black Indigenous Liberation Movement, a movement that is comprised of Black and Indigenous peoples from organizations in 22 countries in the Americas. Primarily, we want to talk about mutual understanding and mutual solidarity because we think in order to accomplish climate justice, we need to accomplish racial justice, environmental justice, social justice, because all of these points are intertwined and are interconnected. And the fact that we are here far away from our homes and our territories and we are here to amplify the voices of our peoples and for the people of the future generations. In fact, we are here to demand government and states who are defaulting on the payments for the green fund or climate finance, because we need to democratize access to funding for indigenous communities. Our people are the first to be impacted by the consequences of climate change and are the people who are not in the negotiation tables. We need to support indigenous communities, Afro-descendant communities to be in those spaces and to finalize the agreements and resolutions that will include our people and our voices and our demands for a just transition that we want, including financial demands, the demands of the recognition of the rights of nature in their resolutions and the language of the resolutions, as well as demands of all the communities who are in the front lines. In our communities, we are already suffering the consequences of climate change and just transition in a vast manner, because we have mining in our territories. The governments do not do anything to support our knowledge and our agreements that we have with indigenous communities, and to integrate Afro-descendant peoples also in the resolutions and the narratives and the agreements. We just had COP16 of biodiversity in Cali, Colombia, and for the first time we had language in the final resolutions around Afro-descendant people. We are here to demand mutual solidarity, because we are not here to say who is the one who has suffered the most. We are here to establish dialogue and spaces and to move forward in the climate resolutions and the climate climate finances to be accessible by us all.
Thank you so much, Leo. That was a very clear call, and we do, at least here in this space, I am sure all of us do stand with you and the demands that you bring here, representing all the people that you represent, especially the young ones and the children who are the present as well as the future. And suffering definitely of all forms needs care, love to heal it. And so I will move on to Birajit, and please, the floor is yours.
Om Shanti, everyone. Greetings of peace, and it's a pleasure to see all of you and meet all of you. And it's also a pleasure to hear from the two of you as well. So I'm representing the Brahma Kumaris, and Brahma Kumaris provide meditation courses and many sessions for mental health, mental well-being, increasing our inner resilience, and many other sort of topics. And I thought of sharing three main aspects that we focus on. The first one is self-realization, and this is taught through meditation and the basic principles, and that is that we are not this body, but we are something more subtle. We are a being of peace, and through meditation we sort of connect to this door of peace. And the more we connect with this inner peace, this inner being, the stronger and more these qualities become reflected through our attitude, our words, as well as our actions. The second aspect is self-transformation, and this is done through meditation, and also we have retreats for all the youth around the world. And those retreats I'll be just sharing shortly. And the final one is world transformation. So this is where we become an example for the world and show that, yes, young people, we have the power to bring change. We have the power to impact the environment in a positive way, and at the same time, lead the way for everyone. And it would be nice if I can just share a few pictures. Great. So this one, it was for the Ecology and Spirituality Retreat. It took place this time last year, actually not this time, but in October, in Worthing, a place in London, or outside London. And here what we did is we kind of gathered youth and we sort of sat together, we spent time with nature, we did reflective meditation, and we also had discussions about our environment and how we can build a safe space for each other and how we can impact the environment in a positive manner. Just a second. Okay, and we also had workshops, and these are intergenerational workshops, so we are connecting with young people and people of communities and various backgrounds as well, and having these sort of conversations and workshops really helped us bring that awareness of the importance of climate change at this present time. And one special thing that we do, it's called 7 to 7:30 meditation, where we connect with nature, but not only that, we create positive thoughts and send positive vibration to our nature, Mother Earth, but also those in crisis, the people around the world, the animals. And in this way, we are creating a subtle bond, this sort of compassion between ourselves and nature and those around. This was another project that we took part in, and it's called the Lifeline Project, and this happened around March this year. And this project was by the St. Athelberger, which is the Center for Peace and Reconciliation, and we kind of collaborated with another organization who had 10 young volunteers, and what we did is we planted 20,000 hedgerows. These are native trees, and this whole retreat was about restoring heritage and biodiversity. So as you can see in the picture, during the day we were planting trees, and this is a picture of all of us looking at what we've done, and we were quite happy. I've realized just planting something creates something within us, something quite profound. And I felt like this is something that is needed for the youth around the world. the next project that we have created is called Kalptaru. And Kalptaru is a plantation app, and it nurseries to provide free saplings for everyone. And at the same time, it's an app where it kind of encourages everyone to plant a tree. So one person plants one tree each, and it also helps in terms of the spiritual growth as well. So you get 75 days of support for the plant, but also the spiritual growth of the person with positive messages every day. So that was just a picture. That was just a picture of everyone. It's a youth-led project, so we were getting all the communities to get involved, and it was something really nice. And out of this project, 1.6 million people were involved. We've planted 1.6 million trees across 30 countries, which is a huge accomplishment. And these are just creating awareness to our communities about the project. So the next, from Kalptaru, there was another feature which is called Arogya One, which means the forest that heals. So we got a land, and what we did is we are working on creating it into a forest. And this forest would be like a safe space for people from different communities to come over and connect with nature. So we all just spent time, and we kind of raised awareness within our communities to take part as well. So that it's not like a few people that will be planting trees, it's everyone involved. And this is a pond that holds rainwater, which will be harvested throughout the year. And this is local koi that took place in India. And this happened last year in Dubai. So we were planting mangroves. So all the youth got together and we took part in this project initiative. So we've been taking part in practical projects, and we've been sort of bringing youth from various backgrounds, and we've been taking part in environmental projects. And I found that before the project, they were not climate activists, but after that, they've become climate activists. They've become someone who's passionate about our climate.
Thank you so much, Viru, for a beautiful presentation, and it's nice to see these stories. And when we are on the track of stories, I would like to come back to Leo. What moved you and what made you into a climate leader? Is there a story that you would like to share with us?
Growing up, I grew up in a small village. We are now currently 160 people. And when I was younger, growing up, we didn't have any fossil fuel extraction or mining extraction in our territories. And I remember visiting close by community that in the 70s, they were impacted by the Texaco case. And I saw indigenous people my age being exposed to the impacts of fossil fuel extraction and the sickness and cancer and all the social and environmental impacts. And I thought to myself, what is going on? Why do people my age have to suffer through these things? Because you don't see people in the cities or people in other places suffering going through that, because they don't respect free, prior, informed processes. They just impact the most vulnerable communities. And that's how I started learning about fossil fuel extraction. And now, currently, my community is facing mining extraction that just started in 2020. During COVID, the Ecuadorian government, without consultation, gave the rights for the mining companies to start extracting mining in our territories. That's why I am here, in order to amplify the voices of my people. That's why I'm here, in order to denounce the Ecuadorian government in giving concessions to these companies that are destroying the Amazon. We sue the Ecuadorian government. We won a case in the terms of the rights of nature, and the resolution by the court said that the concessions should be taken out and that the government should repair our river and the lands and our territories. That doesn't happen. That's why I'm here to stand for the people in my community, for the Quechua people of the Napo, who are resilient and who are demanding that the Ecuadorian government should not be given away rights to prospect or concession of our territories. In that sense, we are also here at the United Nations. We are here talking about the new collective quantifiable goals, right? And we are here also to demand that governments should include in their language the rights of indigenous people, the rights of nature, and also how are we going to accomplish climate justice? In order to accomplish climate justice, we need to abide by the principles of equity, justice, no redress, and also for the countries who are polluting the most, they should pay the most. And that's why we are here. That's why we are in these negotiations. What is happening in our communities in the name of just transition should not happen in any other communities. We need to really start talking about what is just transition from the perspectives of indigenous people and include the perspective of indigenous peoples and the final resolutions in the language of the UNCC agreements that we are here. We need to talk about the finance and the mechanisms in order to create capacity for a just transition for indigenous communities and Afro-descendant communities and communities who are at the forefront of the fight of this climate crisis. We know what happened in Spain. We know this is by far the most hot year in decades, and we are in all of this together. You know, we cannot leave these communities who are at the forefront fighting for themselves or talking about just transition without having accountability and without us being on the decision-making table.
Thank you so much, Leo, for that voicing out your concerns, and also you brought injustice, what you have been witnessing and your people have been witnessing. And what I could just refer back to is that injustice has happened for many, many decades and centuries, and the reason for that is probably the corruption that human consciousness has faced or has gone through. And because of that, the most injustice that someone has faced are also women. And we have a women leader, a female leader here, so I would like to ask Winnie that how do you feel now that more and more women are coming into the climate action, and what do you have to say about that?
It's a great question. You know, I think it's ironic that we call the earth Mother Earth, and yet women are just being given a seat at the table now. We've seen how women haven't been respected for their wisdom, which comes from a place of care, and I don't think it's a coincidence that the crisis correlates with all of the injustice that women are facing. And you can see that we've lost that care in society today. So women coming back into climate action is something that's very much necessary, as they will keep those values of care at the forefront, which is what we need.
Thank you. So care is a value that will support not just one person, but the entire planet, because care comes from love, and love is what the world needs. And in our text here, we don't find that word so much. And so are we really fighting for something that we love? And if we love something, we would not have to fight for it. We will live for it. And we will live like how we should be living. So with this last question to all three of my panelists, I would request the floor, if you have some questions, we have got 7 minutes for that. So if you want to ask questions for someone, please raise your hands. And there's a floating mic that could be given to you. Anyone? Okay, so there's one person. Can you share the mic, please?
Hello everyone. The question is for Birojit.
Can you introduce yourself as well? Yeah.
So hello everyone. I'm Ankita. I'm from India and I'm representing Youngo youth group. So the question is for Birojit. So it's really impressive to see like you have been engaging young people in your climate projects, and then they have been starting their journey in climate action. So could you please share your upcoming projects like in the next year?
Thank you so much for that question. We have many projects that are in line, one of which is the Ecology and Spirituality Part 3, which will be taking place in Germany. So that's also another, we're doing it in different countries, so that it's kind of uniting those local youth together as well. It's not just from the UK, so that was the aim for the projects. And another thing that we're doing is we're making sure that the youth from our organization are sort of involved in other projects as well, in other initiatives, in other organizations. And one example is me, for example. So I'm representing Youngo for UNFCCC. We have youth that are participating with the Faith for Earth Coalition. And at the same time, they are also in UNFSS Youth Task. And these are youth from Dubai, Thailand, from the UK, Germany, so from all across the world. And the main thing is that we're all sort of coming together. We also have this meeting once a month where we all get together and share different projects, different ideas. And this is done through Zoom because obviously youth are sort of scattered all around the world. So we're sharing ideas, and it kind of helps us to prepare the next, initiative or the next project that we would like to do. So we're sharing ideas as well.
Thank you so much, Birojit, for that answer. It's nice to initiate conversations in different places, and everybody kind of aligns with what others are doing, and that gives us a way to align ourselves. Is there another question from the floor? Yes, please. Kindly introduce yourself as well.
This is Darshana. I'm representing from India, representing the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. My question is the Kalpataru project. How is it similar or different to the project Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam, which is going on in India?
Sorry, what was that?
The Kalpataru project, how is it different or similar to Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam?
So I would like to take that question because Biru is from UK and he doesn't know this project that is developed by the government of India, where this year the government of India is asking every citizen in the country to plant one tree in respect to their mothers. Who doesn't love mother? So if I love Mother Nature, I love my mother, the best way to show that is to plant one sapling. So it's not different, it's the same thing. The language is different, but the purpose and the intention remains the very same. That if I have love in me, it could be reflected in my actions. And that one action could be just planting a tree. I don't know anyone here, please let me know if I'm wrong, here who doesn't find its happiness or doesn't smile when you plant a tree. Is there anyone who doesn't smile when you plant a tree? So what happens here is when you plant a sapling, you're actually planting hope, you're planting gratitude and love. And that love is not just for one mother, but the mother that is sustaining the entire humanity and entire living species on this planet. So I would recommend everybody, it doesn't matter whether you are in Bharat, in India, or anywhere in the world, you have one mother, we are one family. So planting one sapling in your lifetime for that mother is not a very difficult thing. So yeah. So with this, I would like to close this session with everybody to give you an opportunity. In one sentence, how would you say what the youth are today and for tomorrow? Who are the young leaders for today and tomorrow? We'll start from that side. Maybe Birojit, you can start.
So I feel like youth are superheroes, and if you watch superhero movies, you will realize that they don't realize they are a hero until and unless there is a situation or problem that comes up. And we've got a whole crisis in front of us, and now is the time that youth should kind of unite together and tap into our inner heroes, tap into our inner powers and inner specialities and become superheroes and save the world. It's all within us. I just found that youth just need that space to bond and connect with relationship, and that will be it.
I feel that the biggest quality of young people is that our thoughts, our words, and our actions are aligned, which is also the biggest quality in leaders. So I think that's also what makes us the leaders for the future.
I feel like if we don't do it, there is nobody that will do it for us, and that we need to act now because we need climate justice now.
And I think we are doing and we will be doing, but let's take this moment to become. Let's become those people that are more relied on, that garner respect naturally, that people would believe in us naturally. Let's become people of respect. So with this, I would call this press conference a very successful one if you clap. Thank you so much.